Las Vegas appears on the horizon far before we actually reach it. Clusters of generic skyscrapers are interspersed with the world-famous casinos, which come in many shapes and sizes. Some are indistinguishable from all the tall banks and offices around them, except for gaudy logos and signs. Others are constructed to look like a pyramid or a Roman palace or a medieval castle. It's a distinct clash where some buildings are striking and clean looking at just as if they'd just been completed yesterday. But then just beside them will be a sad looking place with faded paint and signs that aren't supposed to be flickering. As we enter the city limits, we're suddenly surrounded by the noise of traffic and the smell of exhaust. Exiting the highway was like crossing the boundary to another world. Marina drinks it all in.
Oh, what's that one? The super tall one.
She points through the windshield. Even though it's impossible to follow her finger, I know which one she's talking about. That's the Stratosphere. I think it's one of the tallest buildings in the country.
Oh.
We're still miles out, but she already seems to be infatuated with the city. Her eyes are wide and so is her mouth. It's even cooler up close.
Never knew cities could be this huge.
I keep forgetting that she's never been out of New Mexico. Sure, there are a couple of decently sized cities there, but nothing this impressive. I'm excited for her to experience all this for the first time. Honestly, Las Vegas is kind of on the small side, at least compared to places like New York or Chicago.
Seriously? That's insane! Can't imagine that many people in one place.
What about your house? She giggles.
That's pretty close.
She reminds me of a puppy. Straining against its leash as she whips between looking out the windshield and out the passenger side window. To me, the part of the city that we're looking in looks like any other downtown area, so I'm not impressed. Once we get to the Strip, where all the really famous casinos are located, it'll be different. First, I have another destination in mind. So, Mare.
Yeah?
Ever heard of the World Carnival Buffet at the Rio?
I don't think so. Did I?
Well, if you like food, it's pretty much the greatest place on Earth. They have, like, everything imaginable to eat, and lots of stuff that you can't imagine either. Somehow her eyes got even wider.
I want to try it all.
Pretty sure you'll change your mind when you see some of it, but that's the spirit.
Are we going there now?
Hell yeah we are, I'm starving.
Two.
And she grabs my free hand, the one that isn't on the steering wheel. My heart leaps to my throat. Since we're at a red light, I catch her eye and she smiles, though her face is a little red. I smile back, but then face forward. One hand hangs limply between our seats. It isn't long before our palms are moist with sweat. I don't know whose. Her hand is so soft, like she treats it with lotion or something, but I know that's not the case. Smooth like a baby's. Okay. It makes me a little self-conscious of my chewed fingernails and chronically dry skin. Worried that I'm gonna gross her out and she'll pull away or something.
It's okay.
Huh? Maybe I was getting a little too distracted. Is what? She raises our linked hands.
Yes. Just seem kinda... I mean, I cannot if you...
No, it's fine, seriously. I'm talking louder than I need to, flustered as I try to backpedal. She doesn't look convinced.
Hey, sorry, I'm still, really.
It's fine, you're fine, really. I'm the one who should be sorry. I'm not usually this weird in a relationship. Now she looks almost offended. Crap. Not like that, I just mean... A blaring honk from behind just reminds me that I'm stopped at a green light. The middle of the traffic isn't the best place for the conversation. Breathing deeply as we pull ahead, I try to collect my thoughts. Sorry. Again, I just have a lot on my mind. Because I like you, I really do. You know that really freaking well by now. She smiles, though she's still looking down, and our hands are still together. And this is such an awkward time and place to be talking about this. So it's my bad if I'm being weird or whatever. But being with a girl I met on the side of the road is a new one, even for me, you know. Finally, she laughs.
Yeah, I guess it's a little weird.
I feel like I can still hear a slight quiver in her voice, but I might be imagining it. So I squeeze her hand tightly. Immediately, she squeezes back. I only have a vague idea of the direction I need to be driving. Fortunately, it isn't too long until the Rio comes into view, looming large a few miles away. We pull into the parking lot near the back, where the only open spaces are left. It's pleasantly warm outside. I've heard story of people's shoes melting on the asphalt during the summer, but for now the weather's perfect. As we cross through the parking lot towards the casino, Marina takes my hand yet again. I can feel my heart rate accelerate, but I squeeze her fingers all the same. A few steps inside our sensory overload. A million different sounds and a billion different lights all pour from the sea of slot machines. Even at lunchtime on a Thursday, the majority are occupied. We both take a second, frozen in place, to try and process it all. This isn't even my first time in a casino, but I'm overwhelmed just like Marina is. I can see the reflections of a game in her eyes, like a cartoon character thinking of money.
Oh.
Yeah, whoa.
It's one of the most popular casinos?
Not even close. Like, it's big, but it's not the biggest.
Whoa.
I tug her forward. Come on, we'll have a ton of time to gawk with food in our stomachs. The mention of food steadies her steps. Giant overhead signs direct the way to the buffet. They must be visible from any part of the building. If this place is famous for something besides the food, I don't know what it is. We can smell it before we can see it. Even despite the stench of cigarettes and BO, that are pretty strong here. It doesn't smell like any one particular food item, but rather lots and lots of them. Guided by our stomachs, we half run towards the buffet. The line to get in is small, since we got here so early. Marina hops up and down, trying to peek over the head of the bald guy in front of us. Can you see anything?
Barely. It looks like it goes on forever.
Good. I practically throw my card at the attendant. It reminds me of paying to enter an amusement park, and I'm just as excited. We're let through a small gate and into heaven. Rows upon rows of stations form a small maze in a massive room. Deep bins full of food, fried or grilled or baked or roasted, fill nearly every inch of space in each station. Marina and I grab plates from the tall stacks nearby. Meet you at the dining room? She nods, already distracted, and heads straight for the desserts. I load my plate with a slice of prime rib, 2 rolls, and a scoop of mashed potatoes. Pour gravy over them, letting it run down and soak into everything else. For good measure, I also throw in a pair of chicken wings from a nearby basket. They're so fresh that I can see the steam coming off them. I'm gonna need a second plate. I grab one off another pile and toss a small piece of salmon, some pot stickers from the Asian section, and a small spoonful of some sort of casserole. You can't even guess what it is, but it looks good. Everything looks good. Solely because I can't fit any more food on my plates, I head to the dining area and pick a seat where Marina will be able to find me easily. Sure enough, she emerges just a minute later, carrying 2 plates like I did. Wow, you weren't kidding about trying everything. Instead of big portions of a few things like I got, Marina got 1 or 2 bites of a couple dozen dishes. Roughly half of them are cakes or other sweets.
And in Rome, you know.
I slice off a bit of steak and close my eyes in ecstasy while I chew. It's divine. Holy cow. Barely balancing her plates as she slides into a seat beside me, Marina bumps against my shoulder as she gets situated, and I almost send a forkful of potatoes into her lap.
Bad.
In retaliation, I spear a bite of chicken from her plate, swimming in some Asian sauce.
Fair!
It's double fair.
Doesn't even make any sense.
After that, she finally gets to take her first bite, and she melts, just like me. Her eyes roll back into her head while she chews.
I don't even remember what this is, but it's amazing!
She scoops up another forkful of what looks like some kind of barbecue brisket and holds it towards me.
Try it!
I open my mouth and she guides the fork in. I pull back to chew. It's got a nice smoky flavor. That is good.
I just want to go get a whole plate of just that!
Then she tries the baked chicken that she has next to it.
Never mind, this is even better.
There's a distinct lack of vegetables on both of her plates, but she seems to be enjoying everything that she got. Every bite results in some statement about how it's the best thing so far. Did you get any of this? I gesture towards the slice of steak that I've almost finished. Okay, open up. She dutifully opens her mouth while I cut a bite for her. It's the best part, right near the edge where all the flavor is. It's a little awkward for me to be feeding her like this, but no one pays any attention to us. When she swallows, she sits still. Very slowly, she opens her eyes again.
It was literally the best thing I've ever eaten.
You've said that like 20 times so far.
I mean it this time, that was illegally good!
Now that doesn't make any sense.
Makes double sense.
We laugh. Gramps always used to say that the best place to get a steak was at buffets like this. Not because they're always better, but because you can just go up and get slice after slice. Although he's the only person I've met who could eat more than one. Marina chuckles with me, but it's nervous sounding. I used to tease him for it. No one should be able to eat that much meat. He would always complain about M being too done. He cooked his own steaks to be kind of medium rare, closer to rare.
Oh.
What the fuck? What's Marina's problem?
I mean, like, the furthest I could go is like medium well.
Oh
like,
my god.
Like, you can try a good rare steak.
The redder the steak is, the better it is. That's my code.
Hey, well, like, it really depends on the seasoning, but, like, you know what? Sure, agree to disagree.
Okay. Don't tell me you eat yours well done. Marina, I don't know if we can still be together. I understand, Amber. I understand perfectly. She looks pained. I'm just kidding, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But it doesn't sound like it. I think Amber just struck a nerve. Shut up. It's probably not a good idea to talk about Gramps too much either. Our plates are almost empty, and I look back at the serving area dubiously. Round 2? She thinks about it, then shakes her head.
It'd explode if I ate much more.
Yeah, same. There's a soft flutter against my cheek as Marina leans over and kisses it.
Thank you for bringing me.
Yeah, no problem. I intently examine the hard plastic bench I'm sitting on. Too long passes before I talk again. So are you ready to go?
Sure.
I can tell how on edge she is again. Good thing, Amber. Good going, Amber. Nice. I launch to my feet. Just leave the dishes on the table. Someone will come by and clean them up. I have no idea if that's true. I start to leave, expecting Marina to follow me. But I turn around. She's still in the process of getting up.
For me.
First, she has to brush her face with a napkin. Then she drains the glass of orange juice she was drinking. Then she scoots out of the booth and hurries towards me.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. I just felt kind of nauseous for a second. Probably ate too much.
Oh.
I doubt she's buying it. From the corner of my eye, I see her reach towards my hand. Then she seems to think better of it and lets hers fall back to her side. I grab it myself as I lead the way out of the casino. Outside, I take Marina's hand, but it feels limp inside my own. I let her head I let her lead the way down the street and towards the busiest part of the city. Sometimes stuff on the side catches her eye. Brightly colored sports cars that probably belong to millionaires pass us by pretty frequently. And there's also people in bike-drawn carriages and double-decker tour buses. Besides the people, the buildings themselves are all compete to stand out. Almost every storefront has something neon, flashing to get you to look at it. Toy stores, restaurants, sex shops, and more all vie for real estate. Within a 2-block radius, you could probably buy anything you ever wanted. Maybe a half-mile ahead of us on the other side of the road, there are a few street vendors on the sidewalk. They have awnings set to shade themselves and their merchandise, though it's too far away to see what they're selling. Marina spots them and points.
Let's go look.
Then her excitement vanishes.
I mean, if you want to.
Yeah, let's check it out. With a hopeful smile, Marina starts to run. A red light at the crosswalk makes her stop not too far ahead, though. I catch up just in time for the light to change. Before she can dart away, I take Marina's hand. She doesn't object, but searches my face. So I smile, and she smiles back. I let her pull me to the vendor, who seems to be selling a little bit of everything. T-shirts cover most of a wire rack that serves as a wall. There are also bins of buttons, keychains, and other small trinkets. One bin is full of tiny soapstone animal carvings, and those are what Marina goes for. I ignore the vendor and his Weasley small talk, refusing to be conned into buying tons of junk. After a minute, Marina selects a little stone coyote, and I pay $5 for it, practically robbery. We start down the road again, with Marina inspecting her new treasure. Why a coyote?
She was the cutest. The way the color changes here.
She holds the little trinket up to my nose. There's a spot where the color changes from a brown to a milky white on the side of one side of its face. That is pretty.
Wolves are pretty much my favorite animal, and coyotes are close enough.
Yeah? Have you ever seen a live wolf?
Oh, I wish. You?
At Yellowstone a couple years ago, yeah. I begged Gramps to take me. As soon as I mention Gramps' name, I see Marina's eyes flit towards mine.
What else do they have there?
All kinds of stuff. Wolves, bears, buffalo, elk, deer, pretty much any kind of forest animal.
Just wander around, right?
Yeah, they just vibe.
If I were a bear and I was at Yellowstone, I would also just vibe, because, like, you basically have it set up there.
Yeah. Yeah, there are even places where you can feed some of them out of your car.
At the meat eaters, like wolves and stuff. There are wolf parks in New Jersey.
There are?
Yeah, I've seen like a live wolf.
Wow. There are spots where you can see them, but you can't feed them. They're like still wild animals. It's not a zoo or anything.
I want to go there someday.
I'll take you to see them sometime. It's a cool place.
Really?
Yeah, sure. I tried to play it off like it's not a big deal to me, but talking about future plans, anything that would happen after the festival, ignites that sense of uncertainty in my chest. The way her eyes light up when I promise to take her both stews in agitates the feeling. No matter what, I'm happy that she's happy. I follow behind as she darts from stall to stall like a hummingbird. They all offer more of the same, generic desert-themed trinkets or gaudy I Love Las Vegas merchandise. The sidewalks are full of these vendors who shout and try to get the attention of all the dozens of people who pass by. Marina's the only one who gets hooked in. But she didn't ask for anything else. Maybe there just isn't enough wolf merchandise. Every time she dives in to examine someone's wares, I hang back with my hands in my pockets and watch. Once she's done, we hold hands again. It's a nice cycle. But all that changes once we reach the strip itself, with its eclectic architecture and eccentric population. I point out some of the more famous places, like the Luxor, which is shaped like a pyramid, and Caesar's Palace, which looks like it was stolen from Rome. Marina's oohs and ahs in all the right places, though to my surprise she doesn't try to lead us to them. Instead, she seems dead set on taking us further and further down the row of sidewalk salesmen, like she's looking for something in particular. Not that I have an idea what it is. She leads the way, looking from side to side, but never seeming quite to find it. Until suddenly, she freezes in place. A large wave of pedestrian traffic behind us crests and spills like we're not even there. Marina points ahead at one of the street vendors a few blocks ahead. I'm yanked forward once again, being dragged by her newfound enthusiasm. Rather than a bunch of cheaply made goods, the merchant she noticed has a bunch of colored drawings of cartoon characters, barely recognizable due to exaggerated style. A sign behind them advertises custom commissions, $30 each.
Art.
What?
It's art.
Yeah. I immediately understand what it is Marina wants. No.
I mean, I'd want it too, like...
I try to drag my heels, but I'm tugged along by Marina. She's surprisingly strong when she wants to be.
Amber?
She says my name without even turning around.
This has been on my bucket list for years. Happening.
What as? Getting ripped off by a street artist?
Having someone draw me. Also, $30 is not a ripoff. $30 for like a street commission is not a ripoff at all. So like,
My protest's going ignored. I fall in step and accept my fate. The guy manning the booth looks like he's completely out of place. He's wearing a flashy Hawaiian shirt and a baseball cap. When he notices Marina and I approaching, he sits up from his slouching position and grins. What voice should I do? Should I do the voice or should you?
French. Do a French voice.
Hello, ladies.
Hey there, we were interested in having our portrait drawn.
We weren't. You were. But I don't protest. I resigned myself to going along with whatever she wanted. I can't. Perfect. He frames us with his fingers like he's gonna take a picture. You girls stand. Fuck, I keep trying to do it. I keep, like, defaulting to Italian instead of French for some reason.
Oh, I think Italian works.
Okay. You girls standing right there and get comfy. I'll get ready. He lurches off his wooden chair and grabs a sketch pad and a box of pencils. We'll do you two in color. How'd that sound, eh?
Neat.
I just grimace. I'm not fond of having my picture taken, and this isn't much better. I just never feel satisfied with how I look. That's why there aren't many pictures of Gramps and me, just a couple. I'll deal with it for Marina's sake. We stand under an awning, though its shade does little to help with the heat. Marina shifts from foot to foot while I just wait with my hands in my pockets. Every so often she turns to beam at me like she doesn't say anything. Geez, not sure why she's so hyped up, but it's cute. The guy finally gets his stuff ready, all set up on an easel. The piece of paper he's using is almost the size of my torso. Go ahead and scrunch together now. He makes a motion with his hands. Marina stands near me, and I wrap one arm around her. Closer? Our shoulders are touching. Closer? Now we're cheek to cheek. Perfecto. And he stares at us with a smile for just a second longer than is comfortable. It makes his expression seem more than a little sleazy. Before I can change my mind, he looks down at the paper and starts to draw. We stand there, not talking or moving at all.
Well, is this a gay to get a caricature art done with you and your friend who's traveling the world with you after her car broke down?
Yes. Once Marina starts to ask something, but he waves his hand without even looking up. Quiet, if you move, you'll mess it all up. So she shuts up. I can feel her jaw snap shut since it's smooshed against my own. 15 minutes pass, my mouth is starting to get sore. I didn't have any guesses as to how long this would take, but it's starting to get annoying. Even Marina seems to be having second thoughts. She wiggles, just barely, probably to fight the growing tension in her muscles. Not enough to ruin the drawing, though. In the corner of my eye, I notice a couple of glances that we get. We probably don't look especially out of place, but more like hapless tourists who got conned into something. I guess we are, to an extent. I wouldn't mind, except that we also look ridiculous being stuck together like nearly Siamese twins. Our artist draws with long, swift strokes, though I can't see what he's doing. He appears confident. Hopefully the result is worth the discomfort. And the $30. I'm nearly at my breaking point when he finally leans back and sets his pencil aside. Done! Marina peels away from me instantly, leaving a damp spot of shared sweat on my face. I rub it as I follow her, more slowly to see the results. As she cranes around the easel look, I watch her expression go from excited to overjoyed. Her smile widens into a grin as she grasps the drawing in her hands.
Amber! Look, it's us!
She flips it around so I can see. It's us. The first thing you notice is my boobs. They're a lot larger than in real life. Same with Marina's, kinda. One other thing is the drawing is cartoony. We're recognizable, but our features are exaggerated. Marina's eyes are almost comically huge.
Anime girl.
In contrast, the building behind us are drawn so sharply defined and realistic. Clutching the paper to her chest, Marina sighs a contented smile.
Thank you so much!
The artist wipes his sweaty palms on his shorts as he stands. My pleasure, my pleasure. And he looks at me expectantly. With a sigh, I pull out my wallet and pass him a pair of wrinkled bills. Pass it to him with a nod. Y'all have a lovely day now. With that, he slouches down again and pulls out a cheap-looking paperback novel. The drawing is still close to Marina's chest like a priceless artifact. Every few seconds, she holds it away from her and grins as she looks at it. This makes it worth the cost. Finally, Marina rolls up the drawing like a scroll and tucks it under her arm for safekeeping. We stand in the shade of the awning while we look up and down the road.
Split up for a little bit.
What? I can't help but yelp. That was the last thing I was expecting. Doesn't she still not have, like, a wallet or a phone?
I'm assuming, yeah, but like, the treasure.
Yeah.
Like, you can just easily get another one. Or they just go to the cash exchange now.
Yeah.
For long, there's just something I want to do. You can't be there.
Why not? Shuffling in place, Marina looks away.
'Cause it's a surprise.
Mare, no, this isn't some small town. This is Las Vegas. What if you get lost or some creeper tries to mess with you?
It'll be fine, Amber. There's like 1,000,000 people on the street.
Yeah, so? That doesn't mean anything.
Mean it. It'll be fine.
There's a fire in her voice that takes me by surprise. There's even a small spark in her eyes, like she's angry. My frown deepens. But...
Seriously, it's nothing bad, I promise. I just want to do something, but it's a surprise for you, so you can't be there.
Her face softens.
Please? It'll only be a couple of hours.
Marina, I don't know. Of all the cities that split up, this is one of the worst. Not only do we not have any way to contact each other if needed, but the people aren't the sort you can trust. If I leave her on her own, there's a good chance I'd never see her again. But the way she stands there, hands on her hips, looking determined, makes me not want to argue. I sigh. Are you sure?
Yeah. Mean it. Just give me like 3 hours.
That's a long time.
I tried to keep it short.
In 3 hours, she could be snatched up by someone's car and well into Arizona, or California, or halfway to Reno.
Reno's in Nevada.
Yeah. It's irresponsible of me to let her go. But I can tell just by looking at her that I don't have a choice. Okay, fine, but can you at least stay on this street? It's a straight shot back to the Rio where we're parked, and it should be harder to get lost. Marina nods fast.
Fine, I already saw where I need to go. Not allowed to watch, okay?
Yeah, I'll probably just go back to the car anyway. No, now she frowns.
Isn't there anything you want to see?
Not without you.
Amber.
She kicks at the ground.
Guess we don't have.
No, go on.
What?
Just be safe, okay? Don't do anything silly. I guess I'll be fine for a couple of hours. She takes the drawing in one hand and then hugs me tight. Then Marina leaps up and kisses me on the lips. She pulls away before I can get into it.
Okay, I'll see you in a while then.
Right. We stand there, neither of us moving. I sigh again and then trudge back down the road. I glance back every few steps, but she doesn't move. Instead, she watches me and waves. Probably make sure that I keep good on my promise not to follow her. As tempting as it is, I'll let her go for now. 3 hours can't be that hard. Right?